You know that feeling? It's 2 in the morning, you've just written the perfect email, but you stop and think, sending it right now might be a little intense. Or maybe you want a birthday message to land exactly at midnight. Well, we've all been there. So today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the iPhone's most useful and, let's be honest, most confusing features: send later. I mean, really think about it. The power to send a message right now, but have it show up at the absolute perfect moment, that's not just a cool trick. It's about being thoughtful, being strategic, and feeling totally in control of your communication. And that's exactly what Apple promised when they built Send Later right into the Mail app. I mean, how great is that? No need to download some other app, no complicated setups, just a simple, elegant tool right there on your phone. Or at least that was the idea. The possibilities are just fantastic. You can schedule that birthday wish to land right on the dot. You can write an email to your boss on a Sunday night and have it pop into their inbox at 8 a.m. Monday morning. You can be super respectful to colleagues in different time zones, or just batch all your emails to protect your own focus time. It's a total game changer for your workflow. Okay, so how do you actually find this thing? Well, in classic Apple fashion, it's kind of hidden in plain sight. But I promise, once you see the trick, you'll never forget it. So let's unlock this together. All right, here's the magic. After you've written your email, do not just tap that blue send arrow. No. You've got to press and hold it. Just that simple little long press, and a secret menu pops up. From there, you can pick a preset time or tap Send Later to choose the exact minute you want your message to take flight. And boom! Once it's scheduled, the email zips out of your drafts and into a special Send Later mailbox. This is basically your new command center for all your time-traveling messages. Pretty simple, right? Well, this is where our story takes a little turn. Yeah, because it wasn't long after this feature came out that people started running into some really weird and frustrating problems. It felt like this simple tool was operating by a set of secret rules that nobody told us about. It was one of those things that looked absolutely perfect on paper, but when you actually started using it, you were kind of left scratching your head. That promise of perfect timing, it started to feel a little unreliable. Okay, here's the first big one people noticed. You schedule an email, and then, oh no, you spot a typo. You rush over to the Send Later folder to fix it, and you can't. The email is just locked. You can change the time it sends, sure, but the actual words? Nope. Why would they do that? And then there was this little mystery. You schedule an email on your iPhone, but then you open your MacBook or your iPad, and nothing. The Send Later folder is completely empty. It's like the email just vanished into thin air, unless you were looking at the exact device you wrote it on. A total head scratcher. And this one? This one is probably the most confusing one of all. People would check their Send Later folder after the email was supposed to have gone out, and they'd see it just sitting there. So naturally, they think, oh, it must have failed. But then they find out it actually did send. The app just never bothered to move it to the Sent folder. You can see how that would make you not trust the feature, right? So what in the world is going on? Is this whole feature just broken? Well, no, not exactly. It turns out that all of these weird behaviors, all of these frustrations, they all come from one single fundamental design choice. And once you get this one thing, this one key difference, I'm telling you, everything else just clicks into place. All the confusion just melts away, and you can finally start using Send Later the way it was meant to be used. So here it is, the big reveal. Unlike something like Gmail, which sends your scheduled email to its servers in the cloud, Apple's Mail app does everything on your device. That instruction to send the email at a certain time, it lives only on the iPhone or the Mac where you set it up. It never goes to the cloud at all. The best way to think about it is like setting an alarm clock. That alarm lives on your physical phone, right? It's not on some server somewhere. And if your phone is turned off or it's in airplane mode, that alarm can't do its job. Well, Send Later works the exact same way. Your iPhone is the messenger. And that is why it doesn't sync across devices and why your phone has to be on and online for the email to actually send. It all makes sense now. So now that we're in on the secret, we can start using some clever workarounds. Need to edit one of those locked emails? Just move it back to your drafts folder. That cancels the schedule and makes it fully editable again. Pretty cool, right? Want to send something an hour earlier than you thought? Just edit the schedule and pick a time zone that's an hour ahead. And if things are just acting weird, honestly, just closing and reopening the Mail app usually fixes it. And here's one last pro tip. This one's kind of deep cut from the user forums. If you're having those really stubborn problems, like emails not moving out of the Send Later folder, it might be because you're using an older type of email account called a POP account. The feature just works much, much better with more modern IMAP accounts like iCloud or Gmail.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. Now that we understand the how behind the feature, and more importantly, the why, we can finally move past the frustration and start using this thing with real intention.
If you take away nothing else, just remember these 3 golden rules. 1. Always schedule your email on your main device, which for most of us is our iPhone. 2. Make sure that phone is actually going to be on and connected to the internet at the scheduled time. And 3. If you ever need to edit, just use that handy drafts trick.
Look, it's not a flawless, cloud-based system like some others out there. But when you understand that its quirks come from its on-device nature, you can work with its limitations. And suddenly, this imperfect tool becomes a really powerful way to communicate with precision and a whole lot of thought.
So, I'll leave you with a little challenge. Now that you're basically a Send Later expert, what's one small message you could schedule this week? Right now, even, that would absolutely make someone's day.